The European Union's last-ditch attempts to lock the UK into their rules as part of a long-term post-Brexit trade deal has sparked fury among Brexiteers, with one campaign group branding the desperate move absolutely absurd. In a bid to break the deadlock in negotiations, the EU is understood to have demanded a review in 10 to 15 years on any post-Brexit trade agreements with the UK, which critics say means a future pro-EU government in the UK could quickly reverse any deals or agreements made. The review means a future government could simply roll over to the EU, tearing up all the progress made by the current UK negotiators. The move has sparked a furious reaction from one Brexiteer group, who warned such a proposal would push the UK further away from the negotiating table, and have demanded the review clause be outright rejected. Get Britain Out group warned even if Brussels is willing to make more compromises in an initial agreement under these terms, the sole purpose would be to lure the government into accepting what is already likely to be an unfair agreement, only to reverse or make alterations to the trade deal later down the line when there's possibly a more pro-EU Prime Minister in place. Get Britain Out Director Jane Addai said, "For the EU to demand this so late in the negotiations is absolutely absurd. They are desperate, and this lack of respect shown to Lord Frost and our government is shocking. Trade agreements naturally evolve and change over time. However, a proposal to try and make a total renegotiation in a set number of years is unlike any other agreement the EU has in place. Once again, the EU is refusing to listen to what the UK wants, and our red line set at the beginning of these negotiations, there does not need to be a unique deal with far-reaching powers and new mechanisms. The UK should be treated the same as any other country negotiating with the EU. This is nothing more than a bare-faced attempt by the EU to kick the can down the road, hoping a Remainer government strolls into Downing Street sometime in the future. A government which might be happy to roll over to their demands, rip up any existing trade deal and sign the UK up to ongoing servitude to Brussels. This should not and must not happen. It is time the EU finally understood we voted to leave the EU in the 2016 referendum, and these discussions and flirtations with extensions and rejoining the EU will not continue. The UK wants to be friends with the EU. However, there is no point in being friends with a nation which is intent on stabbing us in the back. We will not keep returning to this issue in years to come. The focus of the UK should be on our global future and not the decrepit and economically stagnant European Union."